Welcome back to The Grind. In this video, we're going to talk about my first flights and impressions of Talariok and give some fly-through videos as well. Unfortunately, this dragon does not have quite the same potential to hit stronger bases compared to the other dragons this season, but for newer players or lower level players attacking more equal tier and maybe even endgame players that aren't as competitive, this dragon is a fun and interesting dragon with a very unique spell set with lots of ability to freeze and destroy towers, and I actually really enjoy him. Just doesn't quite have the potential for hitting higher level towers, and we'll kind of explain that. So we saw these first two spells. The top white spell is basically your one-shot spell. It does have a fairly long cooldown, and then the bottom white spell is a freeze spell that can easily hit 3 or more towers and freezes them for like 3 seconds. And it doesn't deal a ton of damage though, and it has a shorter cooldown. And then the white spell just above that is the one that increases breath damage attack and then causes those to freeze towers. Now I did miss with that freeze spell, but this Icy Fracture you can see destroys the red mage and dark flak quite easily, so that can hit up very well. And then Celestial Justice is now freezing all the towers that you hit with your basic attacks, and they're dealing more damage. I also used Supernova to dodge the howitzer and then froze those back towers with that bottom white spell, but unfortunately I didn't have enough firepower to sustain myself. When attacking against defenders or against stronger bases, you will have to precisely time and place your spells, otherwise you will leave yourself exposed to some of the towers and die. However, when you do time the spells correctly and place them appropriately, things can work out quite nicely, and you're essentially locking down an entire base for the majority of the flight. But those windows where they come unfrozen is where you have to be careful, because you will take damage quite quickly. But you can see I was able finally to get through this base, which is much stronger than I would expect this dragon to typically get through, but it was a lot more difficult and inconsistent compared to the other dragons so far this season. So to make this work, I first took out the red and dark flak with Icy Fracture, then I used Celestial Justice to lock down those front towers. I used Supernova to avoid damage from that howitzer while Cold Snap was still flying to the back to freeze them, and then I activated Celestial Justice again, continued to use Cold Snap to lock down those back towers, used Icy Fracture on that back lightning tower because I couldn't freeze it, and then the Ice Flak disabled me, but then I froze it, and then I was able to hold off till I could use Supernova again, and then froze those towers one more time, Icy Fracture to take out that last lightning turret, and then I had time to keep freezing, and then Icy Fracture came back off cooldown in time, as well as Supernova, which allowed me to get back some more health and rage and come out doing okay from that island. Now, a lot did have to go absolutely perfectly in order to make this work, but it does give me hope that this dragon will be able to go up against defenders at the more appropriate tier bases, especially for lower level players who are getting this as a discount dragon. I think it will be a worthwhile dragon. As a discount dragon, it actually is looking quite nice with multiple ways to freeze towers to avoid damage, as well as some decent damage spells like Icy Fracture is a one-shot spell, so that is always nice to have. And then Supernova is a way to kind of fail safe to immediately avoid damage, heal up, get some rage, and then allows you to continue to cycle your spells. Unfortunately, this dragon does not quite have the same potential for hitting up with defenders, but it is a very fun dragon to fly and a very solid dragon in my opinion as discount dragons go. So if you have a stacked roster, we've got tons of solid dragons, this might not be the one for you, but if you have a more limited roster, you're not quite the best flyer, I think Talariok as the discount will do you some good throughout this season while you continue to collect more dragons with more potential and kind of expand your capabilities. So I do hope this video was helpful. Good luck with the season, and I'll see you in the next video.